You know, the level of absolute ownage that Sony has over Microsoft right now is palpable, right? Like, I can't really say just what that means to me as an Xbox fan or how that kind of rubs me the wrong way. And the way that Microsoft has actually kind of screwed their fans over to such a degree that fans don't know what to expect. They don't know what's good from bad. And, I think this is going to be a very interesting video. I'm sure a lot of you will probably agree with the sentiments of this video. Maybe some of you won't. I don't really know. But I do know that it should be a very interesting game. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews with another video. Thank you all so much for checking it out. I appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel. I do daily video gaming content. It's, pretty interesting stuff, I like to think anyway. So if you enjoy video games and video game content on a regular basis, why not go ahead and subscribe? So as you guys know, there's some very interesting things happening right now that are realistically leaving Microsoft in a really, really poor state. And to be honest with you, I kind of question, a lot of things. There's always going to be somebody that goes, oh, well, Xbox games are going to PlayStation, no big deal, it's okay, etc., etc. But, as far as I can tell, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, this is really sad the way that Microsoft handles this. And I'm seeing more and more people kind of talk about this and talk about how, they're kind of pissed off about it. Again, this is all just having to deal with Microsoft and how Sony really kind of owned them. So if you're a PlayStation fan, it's got to be very interesting to you how Sony was able to kind of garner, all the Gamescom press, despite the fact that they weren't at Gamescom. So imagine this. Gamescom, you're Microsoft, you got all this stuff, you're hyping up things, you show this Indiana Jones trailer, but the one more thing moment, right, is announcing that it's coming to PlayStation 5. Now, imagine the absolute, utter idiocy, the lunacy, the shock, the horror. I'm just thinking about this to myself when I see this. Like, wow. This is really, really bad. Like, Microsoft couldn't let this game breathe a little bit, right? Honestly, they couldn't let it breathe. They couldn't let people think, oh, okay, well, it's an exclusive. Like, these games get announced as exclusives. And the funny thing is when Indiana Jones originally was announced, it was announced as a multi-platform game. It was going to come to PlayStation 5. It was going to come to Xbox Series X. Now, during the FTC trial, it came out that Microsoft amended that deal with Disney, and they wanted the game to be exclusive to Xbox, which, okay, they changed the deal, make it exclusive. Then they, I guess, made it unexclusive again, probably because, as Phil Spencer said, they have certain amounts of things that they have to do in terms of, making money back and things like that from Microsoft, and they know that people aren't going to buy Indiana Jones on Xbox, and they're probably not going to buy it on PC. I doubt they buy it on PlayStation, to be honest with you. If you look at what they expected to sell, it was something like 10, 15 million copies or something total. This game would be lucky to sell 3 or 4 million, in my opinion, especially because it's on Game Pass. So when you look at Game Pass, it's just more than obvious that it really cuts into what's actually going to be bought. It's an unfortunate situation, but we still look at this and we say, okay, well, it happens, and like I said, it's a really slap in the face moment. And the fact that Sony comes out looking like this great thing, and Xbox fans are now very much talking about what's going on and why. And to be honest with you, when I'm looking at this and I'm looking at, oh, okay, well, Phil Spencer seems to be a little bit of a boob, and I'm kind of looking at how Xbox fans were maybe screwed over a little bit, and people go, and I'm kind of sick of this as a fan. I'm sick of the people going, well, actually, Phil Spencer didn't lie. He was asked if Starfield and Indiana Jones were part of the original 4 games. Like, it wasn't even 4 games originally. It was 5, right? Because As Dusk Falls, which Microsoft owns, Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, as well as, Grounded and Pentiment, all went. That's 5 games. Doom, that's 6 games. Indiana Jones, that's 7 games. Like, see, it's like getting out there more and more, and we don't really know what to say about this. Like, people aren't really clear on kind of what the deal is. But it's really weird to me the way that this has kind of happened, and PlayStation ends up looking better than ever, right? Like, that's just the truth of the matter. PlayStation ends up looking really, really good, and Xbox ends up looking, really, really bad yet again, because of the way that they've kind of handled things, And I hope that they, change the way that they do things. But man, if you're Sony, you really have to be sitting pretty, right? You've got to really be thinking, oh, we're in a really good spot right now with everything that's going on. And, and the reason is because Microsoft can't get out of their own way, It's kind of crazy to think that this is happening. I get it, they're like a business or whatever, but here's the business, how it looks, and how it looks for potential, PlayStation owners and things like that. So here's your Sony. You're getting Xbox exclusives on your platform, right? Sometimes day and date. It'll probably be day and date in the future. You're getting third-party games like Wukong and Baldur's Gate 3, these critically acclaimed games that millions and millions of people are playing concurrently. You're getting these games while Xbox isn't. I mean, Xbox will probably end up getting Wukong at some point, but clearly Xbox is not a preferred destination or something that, people are actually really into in terms of, hey, let's get this game out on Xbox as well as PlayStation. It's like people really don't care. Like, developers, you could tell, just are not interested in doing that, and that's a really unfortunate situation. But when I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, you have this thing, this really kind of an Xbox event, and your one more thing is your game going to PlayStation. Yeah, there is a big problem. And honestly, it makes me hate Xbox. I've been such a fan of Xbox for so long, and that's not to say that they're never going to have anything good, or or that they're never going to, that I won't do a positive video on them or whatever, because that's not true. Like, obviously I will, but the way that this thing is kind of going, Microsoft's drip feed of bad Xbox news is kind of hurting every scrap of goodwill that Xbox fought to recover with its core after its 2013 disastrous DRM stuff. So, I'm making Xbox's best exclusive in the process is, its community. Like, the community was what made Xbox, in my opinion. I mean, Xbox was trying to be the underdog. Hey, we're the underdogs. We're the good guys. And Phil would, tweet and interact with the fans, and, all the people would interact and stuff. And you do like the big, fan fest and all that kind of stuff. And now we just don't have that at all. And it's honestly really, really unfortunate, because why would anybody want to go and experience any of that stuff? Like, there's no special thing about Xbox, Hey, we have the most powerful console, but guess what? This most powerful console doesn't get utilized because games are, because it doesn't sell. So, obviously, it's overshadowing, undermining the discussion around its actual games lineup, doing a disservice to developers under Xbox, and a disservice to fans who've stuck through the platform through a decade of pure faith, despite we have nothing to show for it. Phil Spencer being the boss of Xbox for 10 years, and I've argued this point for a while now. What in 10 years has Phil Spencer done? Like, he's done more for PlayStation, in my opinion, than he has for Xbox. So, when you talk about it, it's really getting into talking about things like the handling of Halo, the years of mediocre game launches. Xbox has done some interesting stuff, but there's so few of those wins, and really the exclusive investment and the console buyers or whatever, the way that they kind of lie and stuff, it just doesn't look good. It seems like just as Xbox finally gets its games pipeline in order, the impression that Xbox console is on the lowest rung of Microsoft's priority list is hard to overlook. Obviously, if Microsoft is going to, take reasons to own an Xbox over other platforms away from its console customers, it needs to explore ways it can give back. Increasingly, I don't think it's really going to happen. I mean, a lot of people have said, well, Game Pass, but, it needs to be more than Game Pass, in my opinion. So, what do you guys think about this, though? Is this a huge win for Sony? I mean, really, to me, it is. I mean, your one more thing moment is a PlayStation announcement. Not good. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.